iRice Farm or Ideal Rice Farming, a proposed farming application management system. Researchers: Francis D. Torno, Brenton Kayla M. Sibayan, and Mike Dexter D. Talamayan. Chapter 1: Rationale of the project. Rice farmers today are very important because they are the ones who are producing the most in-demand food in the Philippines. But they are having many challenges in the Philippines. Farming plays an important role in intervention point for promotion of agricultural development and alleviation of poverty. Rice is what many farmers grow, but it is also what nearly all consumers eat. Rice remains the agricultural commodity with foremost political and economic significance in the Philippines. As a major staple, rice accounts for 35% of average calorie intake of the population, and as much as 60 to 65% of the households in the lowest income quartile. Since the rice is one of the staple food in the Philippines and is commonly planted crops of the farmers, majority of the farmers are engaged in manual managing and recording. Most farmers' activities are done through the use of different physical copy recording and managing available, but the records could be destroyed in many ways and factors. Like when it is wet with water, the records can be not readable. These different farming documentation have greatly contributed to farmers but can be upgraded by having a farm management system. Most of the farmers are having problems in managing their farms and their records in the Philippines. Majority of the farmers are engaged in manual managing and recording, but by having this farm management system, they can have an easier and more efficient way in managing and recording their farm activities. The reason for this proposal is to help the farmers in Alicia Isabela to manage their farms using integrated farm management system. The proposed farming management system, or FMS, is a mobile-first approach application system. Besides, this proposed system will serve as a tool to use to manage and record the farm management of the farmers. The researchers believe that this farming management system will contribute to an efficient farming for farmers. Project highlights. The application will provide crop plans, but the farmers can also create or develop crop plans. The application will have budgeting and record keeping, rice production records, harvested rice records, and records for field activities. The application will also have list of varieties of rice that are in demand and its informations. The application will have record management for labors. It will also have record and management for inventory. Objectives of the project. This project aims to design, to develop, and to implement a farm management system for the farmers to easily manage the information and data records of the farmers when farming. Specifically, this study aims to develop the Android-based farm management system, simulate the system functionalities for setting a scheduled farm activity, view recommended rice varieties, management of farm records such as financial record, farm activities record, and inventory record. Scope and limitations. This system was specifically designed and developed for the farmers in Alicia Isabela. The target users of this system are the rice farmers. The system is composed of the following modules. Schedule setter module, which sets activity for farmers. The system can add and set a schedule, and when the set schedule has come, it will notify the user. Financial record module, which manage the record of the farmers and financial expenses. The system can add and farmers record and update if needed. Farm activities record module, which manage the record when the farmer wants to view the activities record. Inventory record module, which manage the records of the inventory. Recommendation of rice varieties module, which view the recommended rice and its details and information. The system will be deployed in Google Play Store and can be accessed after downloading and installing the APK or the application in Google Play Store. The farm management system will use one programming language, the Dart programming language, for the interface and development of the application.
Chapter 2. Review of related literature. The related literature and study provide great basis on the proposal of an Android and farm management, Android-based farm management tool for small-scale farmers. There were a lot of related study discussed which the transition of many organizations from different practices to social platforms, specifically in a mobile computing device. The related literature discussed about the profit and loss in the farm and on how to manage the farm to come up with the good quality product and the bigger profit as expected. The related studies and literature remain the researcher in considering the market condition to operate efficiently. Review of related literature reference. Conceptual Framework (IPO). Input, Knowledge Requirements, User Requirements, Programming Knowledge, Hardware Requirements, Review of Related Literature and System. Process, System Development, Analysis and Quick Design, Data Analysis, System Design, Testing and Evaluate. Output, Outcome, iRice Farm Ideal Rice Farm, a proposed farming application management system. Input, User Requirements. The researcher conducted an interview with the farmer to identify their needs so that the team can develop the appropriate rice farming management system application that will answer their existing concern. Programming Knowledge. After determining the problem, a solution must be provided, and that solution is a form of information system that will be written in the programming language where the researcher has an adequate knowledge. Hardware Requirements. The system will not work alone without hardware such as computer and mobile device. The researcher explained to the farmer that they needed that hardware to fully utilize the rice farming application management. Related literature and system. The researcher conducted a research on the different literature and related system to serve as a guide in the development of the rice farming management system application. Process, Analysis and Quick Design. During the analysis and quick design, the researcher conducted a personal interview with the respondent with the selected client where the study was being conducted. Data Analysis. Researcher will review all data, user requirements, and information. This stage also helps the researcher to have an idea on how to create the system and to have an idea on how the proposed system will be useful to the user. System Design. The researcher will start to develop the proposed system in including the design, how the system would look like, and the researcher programming would like to add personal design to make the system more interactive and user-friendly. Testing and evaluation. This will include the feedbacking of the proposed system after it will be implemented and undergone testing. It will also inform the researcher and the development if there are any bug suggestion and if the system functionally will work well. Outcome. Innovation will always bring efficient and effective record management. Utilization of information system make your data secured, updated, and accessible. The farmer become equipped with a platform which put all of his field work and paperwork under unfield control, simpler than ever. Chapter 3. Fishbone diagram. A fishbone diagram, also called a cost and efficient diagram or Ishikawa diagram, it's a visualization tool for categorizing the potential causes of a problem in order to identify its root. Material: record get damaged. People: wrong input of information. Security: loss of record, security of record. Process: time consumption, unorganized of record. Solution: e-rice farming idea. Rice farming, a proposed farming application management system. Gantt chart. A Gantt chart is a useful graphical tool which show activities or tasks performed against time. It is also known as visual presentation of a project where the activities are broken down and displayed on a chart which make it easy to understand and interpret. Wireframe: login form of the user. For example, interface of the first form of the application which contain the username and user password to log in the application. Home interface of the user. Show of the home interface of the user. The design is suitable for the user to interact with application. For researcher, consider using icon in the application to be able to the user to remember what action the object will do. Farm planning interface of the user. Show the farm planning interface of the user. Is this interface the application will ask information to the user about farm detail. Financial interface of the user. Show the user financial interface which contain expenses, gross income, and net income. Farm activities interface of the user. Show example interface of the farm activities form application which contain the seedbed and land preparation, transplanting, weeding and fertilizing, and pest management and harvesting. Inventory record interface of the user. Show the inventory record interface of the user which contain list of tools and equipments, add tools and equipment, edit of the tools and equipment, edit, delete of tools and equipments. Rice varieties interface of the user. Show example interface of farm rice varieties which help the farmer what varieties they need.
Technicality of the project. The technicality of the project on which it has three layers: the client layer, application layer, and the data layer. Client layer is the layer for client users who will be accessing the system from the application layer. In the proposed system, the user uses the client layer. Application layer is the web server where the system will be stored wherein the end user can access using internet. Data layer is a layer in the framework responsible for managing all data inputs of the user in the system. The SMS OTP will be used in the security of the users. Details of technology to be used. The following are the detailed discussion of the different technology used by the researcher for the development of the rice farming application management system. OTP, a one-time password, also known as one-time PIN or dynamic password. is a password that is valid for only one login session or transaction on a computer system or other digital device. SQLite. SQLite is a relational database management system, or DBMS, contained in a C library. In contrast to many other database management systems, SQLite is not a client-server database engine. Rather, it is embedded into the end program. Flutter. Flutter is an open-source UI software development kit created by Google. It is used to develop cross-platform application for Android, iOS, Linux, Mac, Windows, Google, Fuchsia, and the web from a single code base. Dart. Dart is a programming language designed for client development, such as for the web and mobile apps. It is developed by Google and can also be used to build server and desktop applications. Hardware. On the table, we will able to see the hardware and its specification that are used by the researcher in building the application. Processor. Intel Pentium. Type. Intel Celeron processor 2.4 GHz. Number of cores, dual core. CPU, G630 2.70 GHz. CPU upgradability, upgradable. Chipset type, Intel E7230. Memory, RAM. Installed size, 2 GB. Technology, DDR3 SDRAM-ECC. Memory speed, 533 MHz. Hard drive. Hard disk, 500 GB. Interface type, serial SATA-150. Spindle speed, 7,200 rate per minute. Smartphone. Android device. Android version 5.0. Functional decomposition diagram. The figure above shows the different functionalities of the system. The system provides 7 functionalities for the user: login, farm planning, financial records, farm activities records, price varieties, and inventory record. Data flow diagram. The figure above shows data flow diagram of the user. The user have to log in and will be validated and verified by the system using the OTP before they will access the system interface. The user account details will be stored and will retrieve its data in TBL users before they will access their account. The farm planning details will be stored and will retrieve its data in TBL planning. The financial records details will be stored and will retrieve its data in TBL financial. The farm activities details will be stored and retrieve its data in TBL activities. The rice varieties details will be stored and retrieve its data in TBL varieties. The inventory records details will be stored and retrieve its data in TBL inventory. Entity relationship diagram. The researchers used Entity Relationship Diagram (ERD). It is a graphical representation of an information system that shows the relationship with people, objects, places, concept, or event within the system. An ERD is a data modeling technique that can help define businesses' processes and be used as foundation for a relational database. The figure above shows the entity relationship diagram of the system. It contains different tables and their relationship to one another. System development methodology. Information technology researchers deals with development type of research. This study involved a product development process that entails analysis, description, and evaluation of final output. It also geared towards the impact of the application to the selected end users. The researchers adopted the software development life cycle model or rapid application development. This model relies on prototyping and rapid cycles of iterative development to speed up development and elicit early feedback from business users. The following are the activities to be undertaken by the researcher per phase of the software development model. Phase 1. Project planning. This phase lets the researchers list possible topics to pursue, search and gather previous studies. Planning. The prototyping needs and limitations are identified and agreed upon by developers, designers, IT, and engineers. Design. Initial prototyping and modeling is done after multiple iterations. Feedback from user experience help in designing the overall architecture of the application. Development. The basic coding, testing, and interrogation to the back-end service are done in this phase. Enhancement can be made based on requirements. Deployment. The development team moves the components from testing environment to production. The application is deployed and ready to be used. Development and testing. The researchers used the following software during the development phase of the application. Flutter and Dart was used by the researchers in designing the interface of the application and developing the application. All data were managed using SQLite Server and SQL statements. The researchers used PHP-Admin to create a database because it is an open source software, and it has the features that use very fast thread-based memory allocation and has relation to the database management system that runs as a server providing multi-user access to several databases. Photoshop was used to edit certain pictures, also Lightroom to enhance the editing of the picture that was used in the application. The program will have used by the following minimum hardware requirements needed for the application to run. Smartphone, Android 5.0 and up. The application will be developed by the following hardware requirements needed. 2 GB RAM, 1.6 GHz CPU, 100 GB HDD, smartphone Android 5.0 up. The application will be tested by the following hardware requirements needed. 1 GB RAM, 1.6 GHz CPU, 100 GB HDD, smartphone Android 5.0 and up. Data gathering procedure. The proponents will personally go to the Department of Agriculture or DA located in Alicia, Isabela for interview. Gather data about their process on rice farming operation and share their thoughts about the different techniques on rice farming and then conduct an interview to gather data. Data analysis. Evaluation 4.24.1.ISO 9241-11-2018. Usability refers to the set of criteria which represent how well user can use a system or service in terms of what it can do. This may include accessibility, functionality, compatibility, user satisfaction, easy to learn and use, and user interface. Information quality. Characteristics of high-quality information is accuracy, completeness, consistency, uniqueness, and timeliness. Information needs to be of high quality to be useful and accurate. The information that is input into a database is presumed to be perfect as well as accurate. Likert scale was used to analyze the evaluation result from the end users and technical expert. The table above shows the qualitative ratings range and scale of the 5-point Likert scale. This was used in analyzing parameters in the criteria. In determining the individual qualitative ratings of the different parameters, the researchers used strongly agree, neither agree, or disagree. Disagree and strongly disagree as determined range for the individual mean of each parameter. Population of the study. The figure above showed the population of the study. The total project respondent is 25. The total number of Department of Agriculture staff is 5. The total number of local farmers is 20. So the total number of the respondents are 25. Software testing. Testing plan. The system was presented to the respondents in order for them to know the features that the system can perform. After that, the system will be tested by the farmers through downloading the application in the Google Play Store. Compatibility testing. It tests whether the application is compatible with the hardware, operating system, system software or not. Any device that software is Marshmallow version up to Nougat version is Implementation plan. The implementation plan focuses on gaining an understanding of the organization's current technical resources and their availability to anticipate project implementation needs. This is a planning review of how it needs to be implemented. The table above showed the project implementation plan. To estimate project deployment, the researchers designed an implementation plan to list all the work in the result. The implementation plan prepares one to access the risk, estimate the duration, and specify the work to be done.